Hi peeps, it's Tersse back on the old squat box once again, and I've been spending an evening watching what you would call stand-up comedians. The most recent stand-up comedian I've been watching is Robin Williams. I'm going to put a link in the below bar in this video that I'm putting up. I'm very drunk, and I've had I've drank a whole bottle of whiskey tonight. Robin Williams was talking about, at the part of his comedy, he was talking about taking LSD. And I remember when I used to take LSD, good LSD I'm talking about. I mean LSD which totally fucks you up. I mean, totally took you out of reality into a new world. But I remember the experiences that I had under LSD, and he's talking about a guy who went out onto an American baseball field and was able to play through a whole game of baseball, fucked up on acid, and play one of his best games ever. And I understand that. I can understand how that happened, because in my younger years, in my teens, I used to take LSD on a regular basis. I'm talking about every day. And I had days when, if I wasn't taking acid, I wouldn't even have been able to function properly. I could only see the world through taking LSD, you know. I mean, it was probably bad for me, but in another way, it was what I needed to do. I don't know how I can express this to people who have never taken drugs, but there are certain things you do in life where at the time you're doing it, you think, this is just what I need to do. And then later on you look back and think, oh, if only I hadn't done it. And yet when you look back on the results of what you did back then, it was like nothing else could have happened. The only thing that could have happened was for you to get fucked up and do that thing and be successful at it. And this is, I think, what was going on with people who were taking LSD in the early years of LSD and being successful at doing what they were good at, even when they were taking LSD. Part of life is to be who you are. And even when you're taking something which changes your perception of the world, if you're really good at what you're doing, it can enhance your perception, your ability to deal with the world. And I've found that to be the case with a lot of the drugs that I've taken when I was younger. When I was younger and taking high doses of things like LSD or amphetamine, I found myself more capable of doing things that I was doing. And I believe that this is what was going on with some of the most well-known sportsmen and musicians. Sometimes getting fucked up isn't getting fucked up. You're not changing how you perceive the world. You're actually enhancing how you perceive the world. Sometimes your mind really tunes in and picks that unique perception, that unique way of seeing the world, which is responsible for a performance which you would never been able to create or do without being so fucked up. Sometimes being fucked up is what makes you stand out above the norm, is what I'm saying. I've often found that some of the times when people have been very happy to, mix with me, chat with me, be part of my life, part of what was going on around about me. Sometimes people have been attracted to me when I've been so fucked out of my mind. I have been extra fucked up, you know what I mean? Some of the times when I've been fucked out my head on acid and amphetamines at the same time, or LSD and MDMA at the same time, and that's the times when people are really wanted to be close and friendly with me, because what I'm doing at that time has been supremely different to what I would be normally. So I can understand this idea, this thing spoken about by Robin Williams about sportsmen. I'll try and remember and put this, because I'm very drunk, but I'll try and remember and put this link. And the time of when he was talking about it was 59 minutes 21 seconds into 1 hour 29 minutes 41. So I would suggest that you look for 54 minutes to the 59 minutes. I think that was 54 minutes to 59 minutes, and the video I've watched of it was it would get you into what I'm talking about, the sportsman being fucked out of head on drugs. Because I've this is the thing as well, I've actually worked in a serious industry, replacing railroads, railway lines, crossings and stuff like that in the railway, while being completely fucked out of my brains on LSD. I've obviously worked in the music and video editing industry, well, completely fucked out my head on LSD and MDMA mixed together, and I found I worked pretty much worked pretty good. Well, at least successfully completed my mission of doing that job very, very well, and found that being completely fucked out my head on LSD and MDMA didn't infringe upon me completing my mission of making that job successful. It's very hard to talk about this being drunk. In fact, if I was completely fucked up my head on acid and MDMA tonight talking to you, I would be probably talking more proficiently, more openly and more succinctly than I would do if I was talking drunk as I am. Alcohol is a bad drug to do this sort of shit, right? Whereas LSD and MDMA is a fucking completely brilliant drug to do this sort of thing on, and I just wish I could find a good source of LSD and MDMA. I'm 51 and I wish I could find some good acid and good MDMA, you know, and some good skunk. I wish I could find good pure drugs. I mean, if I could go to a government licensed chemist where I could buy those drugs, and you know, those drugs that were quantifiable, and you know, I would get them at a certain dosage. I'd love to be able to do that. I'm pissed off with buying cheap shit fucking alcohol, destroying my liver, when I could be taking wonderful, beautiful drugs that I know would help me to keep my mind open and be happy with the retarded shit that I would be talking about on the internet. I'm not really happy with the shit I'm talking about on the internet because my mind fails me, and I understand it fails me, but I think it fails me because my brain is being deteriorated, not just with the age but with the alcohol that I'm drinking. And I would love to stop drinking alcohol and start taking fucking LSD, MDMA and pot. I'd love to smoke fucking hash every day, and I'd love to have, you know, I would like a trip probably once a fortnight, and I'd love to have a trip that's LSD, MDMA mixed, because that's the most wondrous, beautiful drug I've ever had in my life. I've always loved to trip. I love LSD, but I found that it's only bolstered and made more perfect when LSD is mixed with MDMA. It's a beautiful drug. You don't have to take huge doses of it, but when you have mild doses of LSD and mild doses of MDMA mixed together, it is a wondrous, eye-opening, mind-opening, mind-expanding experience. And I'd love to be able to perfect the dosages so that I could go out and have it as a, you know, let's have a group think where we can all speak to each other about our ideas or thoughts, and then have those little seats on the balcony with a view of discussions of paintings, books, other people's experiences. Yeah. I find it really difficult to express what I'm trying to express. What I would love to is go back to experiencing the stuff and then bring it to you in full, because they are important. It's important that we can do. It's very, very important that we can do this as individuals. But it's fucking illegal at the moment, and that's a fucking, it's a piece of shit that we can't get fucked up. I can't get purified LSD, MDMA, and mix them together and have that experience when I want it to, once a week, once a fortnight, and then, you know, have discussions under those circumstances with other people who like it as well, and then talk about, you know, the ideas we need to hash out and you know, worry about in life. I do believe it's very important to be able to do that sort of shit and not do it just through, I believe what was written in this book is true and nobody can question me. That's all bullshit. We need to be able to get into that mindset, that fucked up mindset where we feel each other's feeling for what we're saying in that conversation, you know, and then hash out what really means anything to people as a living organism. And you can't get that by just reading a fucking book that was written 2,000 years ago, but you can get pretty close to what people feel about the world, about the universe, when we get into that state where we see, feel and understand the beautiful universe we live in, and look in each other's eyes and say, yeah, I believe you think that you have a close connection to it, as I do, and now we can talk about what is the best way of considering what life is and where it goes, when we can see each other's faces and actually describe how what you believe a book says means nothing, but what you and me can actually come to a considered decision on, which actually means to people who can look in each other's eyes and feel life. That's a different thing. A book cannot tell you how to feel. You feel. I understand you feel. A book can't tell you how to feel or how I need to feel, but when we sit, you know, across a table from each other, fucked out our heads, feeling reality and life, then we can come to a decision about what that book doesn't mean and what people feel about life. Because what people feel about life is more important than what was ever written in a book, no matter how old it was, is bullshit. What we feel about life is so much more important, and even a bishop or a fundamentalist Christian leader, when he sits across from me and he drinks a tea that's got LSD and MDMA in it, and we talk to each other after it takes effect, he will certainly realise that his artificial text understanding for a book means nothing. What really means something to him is how he feels when it looks in the eyes of another human being, another living soul who disagrees with the book and has a discussion, a verbal and human feeling to transpose to him. He will see in my eyes the humanity that the book lacks. That's why Christians don't really want to sit in front of you and talk to you and look in your eyes. They know the book means less than how the interaction between people makes a difference to to the world and how they see the world and how they feel about the world. I think that's the important thing. Not even if you're fucked out of your head, but if you can talk to people and see in their eyes the humanity that is me talking to you about living on this planet. It's all about you and me living on this planet. It's not about how you believe something that I don't believe. That doesn't matter. Are you willing to live next door to me? Would you trust me? Would you trust me to come and save you if you were trapped in your tractor or washed into a river course and needed someone like me, your neighbour, to come and pull you out and save you? Because I would do that for you. Would you do that for me? I believe you would. And it wouldn't matter what God you believe in. What matters is you're my neighbour. I need you to live next door to me. No matter what you believe, I need you to live next door to me. I need you to be there for me, and I will be there for you. That's the important thing about life. It's not what you believe and what I believe. The facts are, we need each other. And some religions say that you should help me. That's detrimental to our community. Therefore, you should not support that part of your religion. Not to help me when I'm in need. That's bad. Anyway, soins-y va.